Okay, welcome everyone. Lesson one. Okay, welcome everyone. We'll start our lesson one. Today lesson will go through LO1. We are going to start a new unit, which is academic writing and a research skill. A couple of you know me. My name is Anjum Sattar. If you have any question, please drop me email anjum@ukversity.co.uk. So we'll start. Okay, so our learning outcome one, which we'll go through today. If you have question, you can drop me email. Okay, we'll start. So our learning outcome one is about understand the concept and the purpose of academic research and writing. The aim of this unit, really, we need to why we are learning this is about engaging in academic research and writing will help students to interpret and evaluate the sources of information evidence before becoming involved, engaging in production of evidence-based logical argument. And the aim of this unit is therefore to support the exploration of the key topics and the form of part of academic research and writing process, so the learner will be able to achieve greater success and recognition in there. So it's a very important subject, really, is how we can improve things, how we become good in terms of academic writing. Okay, so today lesson is what is the academic research. So academic research is focused primarily on making new discoveries of scientific community. Professional research is, we can look around the professional research, which give you quite, I'll show you just. Okay, can you see? Okay, so academic, as we mentioned, the professional research is geared more towards the solving a specific problem for an organization. So in an organization can be different sort of the problem, like a financial problem or any other problem. But if we do the research and collect the data, that will help, the business to overcome these problems. So the two are both, the validated and contribute to the progress. So we need to look around the academic research involved is we can look around the investigation, thoroughly investigation, which is known about a given topic. In the most of the cases, you will be required to examine and analyze the scholarly source, of when, completing your assignment. So we need to be make sure, like a Google Scholar, like, the various other say journal and various other journal where we can get the research paper published by, and that's, we'll look around the finding and the literatures and what was about, what argument and what the conclusion was drawn. Okay, add, the depth to your understanding, strength your argument, and reduce bias and misconception. That's, in academic writing, really, we need to be in academic research. Okay, so what does the research writing? Knowing how to write a good, research paper is a value which we need to be make sure, which will carry on doing it, because, that's most important aspect of academic writing. So as we said earlier, more clear. So knowing how to write, a good research paper is a valuable skills, which will be served you will be throughout, your career. So this is very important. We develop, good academic background, academic skills, that will help, throughout, our careers when you do the level 4, 5, 6, or any other levels. So that's, which we can look around, such as developing new products, studying the best ways to perform the procedures of learning about the challenges and opportunity in the field of employment. And you will research technique to guide and exploration. You may even need to be create written reports of your finding. And because of the affecting communication is essential to any companies or employers to seek to hire the people who can write clearly and professionally. Yeah, that's all we need to do. Okay, then we've been given what is about, which we'll go through and we'll watch this video, which is about academic writing. Let's, we can.
Now at Trade Point, get 3 for 2 on interior paint and all paint mixing. Plus, if you loyalty discount, you'll get this on top. So, from walls to woodwork, you'll find a huge range of top.
Okay, let's play.
Formal and informal writing. Sometimes your writing will have to be more formal in tone. For example, if you're applying for a job or writing a letter of complaint. The formality of writing depends on your audience and the message you want to convey. Think about how you would speak in a face-to-face conversation with the person you're writing to, and then try to match that tone in your writing. For example, you would chat differently to your friend than you would your teacher or manager. So what are the differences between formal and informal writing?
Formal writing is direct and to the point, whereas informal writing can be conversational. Formal writing is grammatically correct, whereas informal writing may use slang, abbreviations, and contractions. Formal writing uses an impersonal tone and discusses topics with gravity, whereas informal writing may use an emotional tone and often discusses topics with humor. Formal writing uses the correct punctuation, whereas informal writing may use dramatic punctuation, such as dashes and punctuation marks, or it may flout the rules of punctuation altogether.
Let's look at an example. First, a formal article.
The Kodiak bear is a subspecies of the brown bear. It can weigh up to 635 kilograms, making it the second largest land-based carnivore after the polar bear. Now the same information written informally.
They may look cute and cuddly, but don't be fooled. The Kodiak bear, closely related to the brown bear, is a 635 kilogram killing machine. In fact, it's second in line to the biggest meat-eating animal in the world, the polar bear.
Note the use of dashes and exclamation marks and the contraction of it is to it's.
To recap, informal writing can be conversational, often flouting basic grammar rules, whereas formal writing is precise, factual, and grammatically correct. To determine which to use, consider your audience and the message you want to put across.
Okay, guys, so that's, which we just mentioned, academic writing and formal and informal writing. Yes, which is very important. We get the concept, yes. So next, we're looking 1.2, which is, we'll look, in, so main points of text and punctuations. Yes, what is about. So we'll go through that's, very important in academic writing as well.
What if you could do SEO smarter and faster? With Wix, you can edit your meta tags page by page or all in one go.
Paragraphs and writing in a logical sequence. What is writing in a logical sequence? What do we mean by paragraphs? You should always write in a logical sequence. Logical sequence means that your writing has a start, a middle, and an end. The reader should be able to follow your thoughts in an order that makes sense. At level 2, in the functional English assessment, you should also show that you can write in paragraphs. Paragraphs give your writing structure and meaning. They help readers to make sense of your writing. Here's what you need to know. What is a paragraph? A paragraph is a group of sentences about one main idea. Each paragraph has a main point. What is a paragraph made of? Key sentence equals main idea. A paragraph has a key sentence. This is often the first sentence and tells you the main point of the paragraph. It introduces what the paragraph will be about. Supporting sentences equals more detail. Following sentences help to give extra detail about the main point. They are called supporting sentences and develop the ideas in the paragraph. Sometimes paragraphs have an ending sentence to finish off the paragraph, but whether or not you use a closing sentence depends on the size of the paragraph and what kind of writing you are doing. Don't worry too much about ending sentences, as these are not as important as the key and supporting sentences. Types of supporting sentences. To develop your paragraphs, you can give examples or reasons. You might have examples that show that your idea is a good one. Use a true story or anecdote. Real-life examples are a good way to prove your point. Make comparisons. Comparing things can give the reader a point of reference. Quote statistics or use evidence. Statistics and scientific information work well to provide evidence to back up your theories and ideas. How do I set out a paragraph? Start on a new line. Indent or not to indent. To indent a paragraph, you leave a space on the line before writing. Indenting a paragraph looks like this, and it should be used in handwritten text. Block paragraphing looks like this, and should be used in typed text. How long is a paragraph? Paragraphs can be as long or as short as you like, although here's a word of warning. If you have a full page of writing which is all one paragraph, chances are that something has gone wrong. Aim for 4 or 5 sentences. Just remember to fully explore your main point. How do I link paragraphs? Each paragraph must follow on from the last one and be linked to the next one. Here are a few easy ways that you could do this by using numbers. In the first place, in the second place, or perhaps firstly, secondly, finally. By using phrases such as, in spite of this, although this is true, to sum up, alternatively, not only.
Okay, guys, so we done, how we can look around the paragraph and structure of the paragraph. That's, that is quite crucial in academic writing. So that's, which we need to be focused. Okay, then English at the main point, text and punctuation. Yes, that's, which we can look around. We just earlier mentioned. Okay, if you have any question, please, you can ask anyone. We can watch the second part as well.
It's really interesting and heartwarming now to be on the inside of a company dedicated to helping patients. And as a caregiver, I can see how that makes a huge impact in people's lives.
Paragraphs in writing an Paragraphs and writing in a logical sequence. When to change a paragraph. At level 2 in the Functional English Assessment, you should show that you can write in paragraphs. Paragraphs give your writing structure and meaning. They help readers to make sense of your writing. One of the things that people find tricky is knowing when and where to change paragraph. Here's what you need to know. Knowing when to begin a new paragraph can seem tricky. Some people just begin a new paragraph every few lines or so in the hope of getting it right. But there are reasons for changing paragraphs, and you can learn these easily. Use TikTok. Here's how TikTok works. TI equals time. This really is as simple as it sounds. When you move on in time, move along in your paragraphs. Here's an example. Let's imagine that we have bought a faulty fridge freezer and are writing to complain about this. We've already started our letter and moved on to the main event. I bought the Freeze 0900 in January last year. The story we are telling begins in January. Paragraph 2 would explain all about what happened in January when the Freeze 0900 was bought. In February, I rang the store where I had bought the fridge. We've now moved on to February and what happened next. So we change paragraph to paragraph 3 as we are moving forward in time. A replacement freezer was delivered in March. The saga is now continuing into March. So we change paragraph again to give us paragraph 4 as we are moving along in time. This will carry on until we reach our final concluding paragraph. Place. P equals place. Change paragraph if you start talking about a new place. TO equals topic. Topic means the same thing as subject. When you move on to a new topic or the subject changes slightly, then it's time to change paragraph. Here's an example. Let's say you are writing an essay about raising the driving age in the UK. You have thought of 3 separate main points to talk about. Here's how your writing might look. Paragraph 1, Introduction. This essay will consider the reasons why the driving age in the UK should be raised from 17 to 21. Paragraph 2, Main Point 1. Teenage drivers are not mature enough to handle the pressure of driving on busy roads. Your first main idea talks about the maturity of young drivers. Paragraph 3, Main Point 2. Drivers under the age of 21 are easily distracted. Your second main idea talks about how young people are distracted by text messages or the radio. Even though generally we are still talking about young drivers, the topic has changed slightly, so we introduce a new paragraph. Paragraph 4, Main Point 3. At 17, drivers don't have a full understanding of the consequences of their actions. Your third main idea discusses consequences and how young drivers don't really understand how serious their actions might be. Again, we are still talking overall about young drivers, but the topic has changed slightly, so we introduce a new paragraph. So, a piece of writing will be talking about the same topic overall, but there will be different things to say about that topic. Each time the subject changes, the paragraph changes too. P equals person. Change paragraph when you introduce a new person or change from one person to another. This is useful to remember if you are writing something that has direct speech in it, such as a story or article. Let's look at this example. In the second section, starting I like fashion, we have introduced a new paragraph when Joe starts to speak. Think of TikTok to help you remember when to change paragraphs. Use a plan. Another thing that can help you change paragraph is to use a plan. A plan helps you to come up with lots of ideas and then put those ideas in a sensible order, i.e. a logical sequence. It is a good idea to number your plan. Each time you change your number on your plan, you can start a paragraph. Easy. So, why do we need to be able to write in paragraphs? If you do not write in paragraphs, then it is very difficult for your reader to follow your writing. A huge block of text, i.e. one that is not written in paragraphs, is off-putting to the reader. It looks to the reader like they are being given too much information if all of the text is written in one big chunk. Paragraphs give your writing structure and make the business of reading easier. Writing is all about communicating, and paragraphs are a key part of making yourself understood. And of course, at work, you could be writing letters, care plans, reviews, emails, forms, information sheets. The list is endless, and it will be expected with all work-related professional documents that paragraphs are used.
Okay, guys, so we discuss about paragraph, why paragraph is important, and we went through and believes, in academic writing, paragraph is play the key role. That's, which we need to be make sure your paragraphs is properly structured. Your paragraph, need to be like sequence, yes. That's, the flowing order of the paragraph need to be go through as we seen in part 1 and part 2 of the with video. Explain what is meant by the term academic writing. We said earlier, academic right, yes, research skill is referred to the process of conducting a systematic, yes, rigorous investigation of the specific topic and the problem which we have, in it can be any discipline. We said, research involved the, yes, range of activities, literature review, data collection, the knowledge which we can develop in within the field. If you're doing hospitality, if you're doing any other, so you need to be think about, that information need to be within that domain, and academic writing refer to the process of communicating the result of academic research in the form. So you have result, you have to explain to the audience what is about, and this may include the research paper, journal article, dissertation, or any scholarly work, as a scholar if you're doing it. Particularly form which we use the more formal as we've seen, and need to be well paragraph and argue and the source of the reference which overall academic research and the writing is a critical component of academic process, yes, in the field of study. So that's why it's very crucial. Okay, then you have explained the difference academic writing conventions. So academic writing convention refer to the standardized ways of writing, presenting the research different, like, you have an introductory chapter, you have literature review, you have methodology, you have finding in academic writing. So different academic discipline may have their own conventions, but they are the some common conventions are followed across the academic field, and some are the example of different writing conventions. We can look around the structure. Academic writing usually follow up the structure format, introduction that provide the context, background information, the main body present the research and the finding, and the conclusion and summarize the main point and implication. And the style and the tone of academic writing generally is a formal and objective. That's not informal, which we seen in the video earlier. Yes, so avoid use the personal pronouns and emotional languages, and the writing should be clear, concise, and precise using the appropriate academic vocabulary. That's we need to be make sure, which we'll do. Citation, which is mean reference, we'll go through Harvard reference. We can use various other reference method. Those are very crucial, and every university, colleges, and institution required where the information came from, and always acknowledge it. Even a lot of people say I write in my own word, but where the ideas came from, so you can acknowledge it. Evidence and analysis. Writing should be based on the evidence and the data and the facts and figures. So please, if you're getting some data like ONS, Office of National Statistic, any other website, so make sure you include that, and critical compare and contrast as well. So ethical consideration, academic writing should be addressed. Ethical, yes, consideration. So avoiding plagiarism. Plagiarism means copy and pasting someone else's work, we using and saying my own work without acknowledging and referencing. So that is come under, and is in the academic writing, is reduce the integrity of the academic writing. So these participants are the treated with respect and dignity. Overall, academic writing conventions are important to ensure the research is communicate effectively, efficiently, and present manner that's the consistent with the expectation. Thus, we need to. Then we have 1.3 discuss the different types of academic research. So academic research is categorized two different types of various factors: the research purpose, methodology, and the scope of it. It can be descriptive research. This type of aims to be describe the document of phenomena or situation without attempting establish course and a cause and effect. So we need to be make sure descriptive research. What is the descriptive research? Often is quantitative, and such as the surveys and experiment. Exploratory research. This type of research aim to explore the problem or the phenomena Hypothesis mean the research question, identify the potential research question. Exploratory research often use the qualitative methods such as focus on the group interview, like opinion of the people. That's exploratory. Exploratory, this type of research aim to establish the cause and effect, which we need to be relationship between variables. Explorate from explanation, yes, research is use the quantitative method such as experiments, which is causes experiment to collect the data. We can use its different sampling size. Analytical research, this type of research aim to analyze and interpret the data and answer the research question. And that's, there's a crucial hypothesis, yes, testing. So historical research, this type of research is aimed to study the present events, the phenomena in order to understand the significant impact on the present. Historical research is qualitative, yes, such as tribal research, which is oral history interviews, and applied research, this type of aims to be solve the particular problem which we have, like at the moment, mental health issues in the UK. If we want to, we can collect the data and we can do the research. So that's the applied side, combination and quantitative and qualitative methods. Quantitative is mean number and qualitative mean opinions, Overall types of the research, is selected depends upon the research question, design, and your audience, and what is the purpose of the research. Yes. So earlier we said what is a paragraph, paraphrasing. Paraphrasing is the process of restating the piece of text in your own words. So please, if someone else word, you paraphrasing, but you make sure you add the reference as well. Paraphrasing involve in more simple changing the few words of the paragraph. It's required the deep understanding and being paraphrased and ability to restructure. So you have, if you changing the synonyms like a few words, so that not remove the plagiarism, which we need to be make sure we'll change the full sentence. Effective paragraphing involve the appropriate synonyms and sentence. That's which we need to be, and original meaning will stay the same. It's important to acknowledge the source where the text came from. Paragraphing, uh, paraphrasing is a valuable skill which we need to be and develop and allow the writer to incomplete information from the variety of the source. That's we need to. What is additional research? Associational research, which we can look around. Associational research is referred to the correlations, yes, non-experimental research designed to be examine the relationship between two and more variables and without manipulation them. So that's which we need to. Associational research is useful when it's not possible ethical and manipulate the variables. So we can look around correlations, coefficients. Yes, so these, the variables which your correlation mean relationship to things. Okay, and the other we said intervention, always we need to be make sure intervention research is the type of experiment are designed to involve, manipulation or various variable determine the effect of the outcome. That's, which we need to. Okay, intervention research is commonly used in the field of psychology and public health. Intervention research can be used to test effectiveness. That's the key, which we need to be key points here. An example of intervention research examining the effectiveness of like a smoking program or particularly randomly assign, the experiment within the group and what do you have. Overall intervention research valuable tool testing effectiveness of interventions like smoking bans and so what is happening. Then you've been given reference all the particular those we use, and then please we can look around what we today lesson was academic writing, paragraph, how we can structure formal, informal. We discussed types of research and how we can do in academic writing. So thanks for attending and listening this session, and hope I'll speak you, and please make sure attend the second session which will go through LO2. Thank you. Bye-bye.